Sucker Free Production brought to you by Sucker Free University. On this episode, I want to touch topics on patience, what it is, patience is, and what it is to have patience, and the benefits of patience, and sometimes how patience can also hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Being too patient. But this is a strong topic I want to get touch on because this really projected to a lot of people coming home out of institutions, whether it be any type of program, prisons, correction, anything. We got a tendency to come home and want to catch up or do this and do that. When you get out them facilities, it ain't about catching up with what's going on out here. Sometimes it's about what's going on out here to catch up with you, man. See what you got going on, how you moving. You the one that got the fresh start. A lot of stuff that you trying to catch up to already burnt out and done up. You know what I'm saying? Needing a breath of fresh air. And we gotta understand that sometimes. We wanna come out here and get back. Nah. It's already if you come out to a situation it ain't already up and running, you don't even need to connect yourself with that. You more of an opportunity to somebody coming home than that person is to you. Even if they give you financial gain, you got that. It's something about when you coming from home and you got that different energy, man. That glow, that inner spirit is different. You know what I'm saying? So you got to use that energy and that time while it's still fresh, and you ain't get broke down to what's going on, the responsibilities, and you got to use that time to really get better while you still got that. Even if it's a little support, you know, some of us might come home to your family like, all right, you got 60 days, you good on the bill. 60 days after that, you got to kick up. You got to use that 60 days to maximize, hold on to everything, give yourself some cushion, and move right, move accordingly. Because I'm telling you, we forget, and not even forget, a lot of us don't know the power we got when we looking for what was going on, see what they got, and we mad when somebody ain't got what you know what I'm saying? They ain't never had nothing. It ain't their responsibility to have. You the one that got the energy to get up and do this. You getting up in the morning going to do this. You going to this meeting, that meeting. You going to see about this bag over here, this job over here. Yeah. Use that energy and keep it moving. That way you could be a vessel for somebody. You could be a lifesaver to somebody out here that you think doing something, but really holding on for dear life out here. Just making it look good. You know what I mean? So I just want to drop that on people coming home. Y'all be the lifesavers when we be the lifesavers coming out them facilities. Even if we ain't got nothing. Money ain't everything. You need it, but that energy is that willpower is more than what a person gonna give you, man. Financially. That what you got in you to pursue something is worth more than what they gonna give you, because you gonna burn through that cash. But that energy, that strength you got, that inner strength, that self-awareness you got, gonna push you to get up and do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. Don't try to catch up. Make time catch up with you. Make them see what you got going on. See your improvements from when you left to what you doing now. So always remember that, people coming home. But if you look up patience, the Google definition is able to accept or tolerate delays, problems, or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious. So the last two or three words in that clearly prove that the majority of people around ain't that patient. It says to be without becoming annoyed or anxious. A lot of people get annoyed. A lot of people annoy themselves, being honest. But a lot of people get annoyed by others in society too fast. But I'm going to read it again, just in case, you know what I mean? Just in case, you know, when you think you got patience and, you know, able to accept or tolerate delays, problems, or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious. I know I ain't got no patience, straight like that. I know my patience is thin. All my buttons work. But that's something I got to work on. That's something we all need to work on. It's patience that gets you. You know, I know at times I'm conscious. I know sometimes I want to deploy my patience. It's all about environment with me. I think at times I know when to be patient and put that mask on. And then at other times I know this ain't the situation to try to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to fight. Sometimes you got to match that energy. But at the same time, when you dealing with on normal life terms and you moving forward with progression, patience, you know, some people in certain positions test your chin and see how patient you is. Like you'll go for a job or whatnot. Person might see you coming through the door, and they might be the hiring person, or they might not be the hiring person, but they might be in a position of clout and power to where they could affect your position on the job. Or you could skip it. You get right to the job. You go through the process you want a job. I'm gonna use this on the construction site because that's what I'm familiar with. You get on the site now. Your foreman, you know what I'm saying, he might be. I ain't going. People know how it is on the construction site. I'm gonna leave that, and if you don't, it's segregated. So you go on the job site, and you know, guy might see you like, okay, this guy here, okay. Now you know you getting sent there through the union, or maybe not. You might be direct through the company. Foreman trying to get you to do all goofy stuff. Oh, I need you to move these 100 pieces of sheetrock to the 3rd floor. All right, cool. So now you go to do your job, and now of course you need somebody to help you. So now you down there, you know what I'm saying, the whole time, they need the sheetrock. They ready to do what they need to do. Now he yelling, well, what's taking you so long? I need some help. Oh, what? You just testing your chin. You know, motherfucker, you know, it happens. You know what I'm saying? They go, but it's up to you to, you know what I mean, to have a little bit of patience and understanding and know they trying you. It's up to you to hold your tongue in, well, I need some help. I thought you was gonna send somebody to help me. I mean, how you told me to come, I thought you was gonna tell somebody else to come. I didn't know. I mean, I assumed as a foreman, you know, is no one man that can move 100 pieces of sheetrock to a 3rd floor. Sometimes you gotta know how to check a person without being disrespectful, you know, and saying too much, because that may be saying. But you know how you gotta play your game. But back to the patience, it's something that it'll get you a lot further. Sometimes you'll go, and this is patience. You can't deal with instant gratification and entitlement, because sometimes patience, it'll take a moment. You might go for a situation as far as with your credit. You might be thinking your credit good. Oh, my credit score this, credit score that. Not realizing it's not just about the points. You gotta have the data points. You gotta have the payment history. You gotta have other things that make your points what they are. But you would think, oh no, I got my credit up to a 740, but you might only got a year payment history, 6 months payment history. So you go to get the car that you want, you might need a $30,000 loan. They tell you, like, man, you gotta put about $5,000-6,000 now. You like, huh? My credit score, da-da-da-da-da-da. And you know, they not explaining to you. They not obligated to explain to you, well, you don't have a payment history. You know what I'm saying? You don't have this, you don't have that. Your patience had you, so now you thinking, oh no, they just hating on me. They hating on me. Now you go to another dealership. Now they run your credit. Oh no, da-da-da. Now the whole time every inquiry they run is taking points down. So now you go to the next one because you impatient. You don't want to accept the fact that you have to build. You have to take time and build. The credit game is about patience for sure. You got to build your credit. But you don't want to listen to this one dealership because they told you you don't got what it takes. You don't got the history of what it is. You go to another one. Now they run your credit. Now when they run your credit, they tell you got 10, 20, 30 points less than you did the last time. Now you like, nah, something wrong with your machine. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Now they might do you a favor, like, well, nah, you keep getting your credit ran. Every time you get your credit ran, you gotta take time to build your credit. But now you done did more harm to yourself because now you done brought your score down. You got inquiries on your report, and it's all because you didn't want to have patience. Now you did more harm to yourself. You really hindered yourself not being patient when you could have just fell back, figured out what you needed to do, and then went at it a second time and got it. Now the process is gonna be longer. You gotta build more. Now you got these 2 inquiries on your report for nothing. You wanna be calculative when you're doing these things, certain things, especially with your credit. But that's a whole nother topic that we definitely want to touch on, because that's like that's my thing, financial literacy. But back to having patience. You know, patience gets you. It shows good character as well. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might just for the younger crowd, you might go somewhere, might be trying out for a team, and you might not necessarily, you might make the team, but you might not make the starting position that you wanted, or you might not play the position that you chose to play. I went through this when I played sports. Sometimes you gotta have patience as far and humility, but you gotta have patience to fall back and prove on what you find out what didn't qualify you for what you wanted to do. It's always good to ask questions no matter what. That's another thing I learned in life. Always be inquisitive. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. Dummies don't ask questions. Dummies don't ask questions. Dummies assume. It's always better to know to your best ability, at least. You know, it's always best to know that your best ability. It's always good to ask questions. And if you ask a person a question and they can't give you an answer, or they get irritated or impatient with you, they're unqualified. Just know that, and you have to have patience with that individual as well, and just knowing that they're ignorant to the fact and they have no patience and they don't want to. They don't want to tell you that they're not qualified. So instead, why you ask so many questions? Because you want to know. So you gotta know how to you be patient as far as holding your tongue and holding your emotion too. Like I said, it shows a lot with character when you're dealing with certain people. When a person can see like, well, that person an asshole, but I could see you humbly held your tongue, or you showed a lot of humility. Things like that other people notice and get you further in life. That's good for that's good for business. You know what I'm saying? When a person know you're not quick to react with your mouth, more strategically react, or just deal with it in another way, it's good for business. Because the person know you're not too emotional, or at least control your emotion, which is another topic we definitely going to touch on. But patience they say patience is a virtue. I don't know what that means, but I guess. But for me, patience is mandatory, and it shows, for me, development and maturity. Because because I'm not really the most patient myself, but I was way more impatient as a youngster, as a younger person. I had no patience. I had to move around, I had to do things. But as I got older and experienced things, I became more patient than what I used to be. And for me, I can identify experience and maturity with like that's one of the things I look at with character with people. When I'm coming across somebody new or interacting with somebody new, that's one of the things I look as a character build. Like in their character, see, that's how I can tell if they got experience in life or been through some things. They can just know how to hold their tongue, or a little bit more patient with things. You know what I'm saying? Because people always gonna say things. We are human, so I look at me like a regular person. So if you say something to this person and it'll irritate me, I'm automatically looking at them like that had to touch a spot. So now I'm looking at you, how your reaction. Now if you could hold it in and know how to just keep it moving and let it roll off, for me that's good character. You know what I'm saying? That's good character. And that'll transfer somewhere later in life. See, some things that benefits you won't benefit you right there in life. You know what I'm saying? That's where the patience come in. You got to understand, it's not about just for the moment. If you secure things in the future, you'll always be good in the moment. You know what I'm saying? So patience got to have you not seeking instant gratification. You got to know, if I treat people right now, maybe later on down the line, even if they don't treat me right, they might treat one of my people right, or treat a situation I'm attached to right that I'm not directly there. You got to, you know what I'm saying? Patience will get you somewhere. It'll help you more than it'll hurt you. But it'll also hurt you if you being too patient and being too kind-hearted, and you letting people get in front of you in a line and swallow you, and then they push you out the way, or just different patience. It'll hurt you in what's a good situation I can say with patience. But patience will really hinder you. It'll as far as speaking up for yourself, standing up, that's you got to know when to stand up for yourself, as far as when it comes to patience, and when you get ran over. You can't be afraid. You got to use patience as a weapon as far as strategically moving, but you got to always know when to speak up for yourself. Having too much patience with a person as far as verbal abuse, it'll dig you in a hole to where, as a human being, you might feel you need to be physical with a person, or get out of character and have to do too much to defend yourself. So you gotta know how to have patience as far as like knowing how to react, but not react in a negative way. You gotta know how to stand your ground, like I was saying earlier on the job site, when you're dealing with patience with an arrogant foreman, or a foreman that don't want you to be there, but they got to deal with you because the union sent you there, or or for whatever reason you there, but they don't really don't want to deal with you. They really want you out the way. So now they just picking at you. You got to know how to stand your ground, say what you need to say, but employ patience instead of, motherfucker, you know, I can't lift this, no motherfucking 100 people. You got to know how to talk. Well, look, I mean, you told me to come down here, sir. I was assuming you being a boss that you could tell somebody to help me. I mean, I can't tell nobody to help me. You got to tell them. You know, you got to know how to pick your word and hold your ground. Because having too much patience that also puts you in a position where you're being disrespected. And respect is number one. So you got to always know how to be patient and vocalize and communicate with people to where you not being disrespectful, but also demanding your respect in a respectful manner. You know, communication. That's a strong topic, and patience is a part of communication, whether it's physical or verbal. When I say physical, I'm not talking about hands-on, I'm talking about as far as body language. Sometimes you can have patience by somebody talking shit, and when I say physical, you just walking away. Just walk. That really kills ignorance. When somebody talking shit and they think they getting to you and you just smile and walk away, it really proves to others and to the person who's acting stupid that the man, nobody want, like, you just talking. Nobody want to hear that. It really like puts them in a situation like, what you gonna do? Like, now, like, I'm walking off. You talking to yourself now, crazy man? So you gotta always know how to use patience as a weapon, but also not be treated like a sucker. You gotta always be sucker free with everything you do. Always stand your ground, but in a mature way, in a respectful way. That way a person know they can't come at you and just talk to you any old type of way, or if they got something to say, it got to be correct. It has to be correct and in a formal manner. Be able to pay. But I want to touch back to, you know, people come home from them jails, because that's real important. That's how people come home and be reoffenders. You know what I'm saying? Coming home, they trying to do this and do that to show they girl or they mother or they kids that daddy's home, mommy home, and it's gonna be all right. It was all right when you was away. No matter how much the struggle was, it was all right when you was away, because they stay here, they here now. Just think of the struggle they going to do when you try to do so much for a spare amount of time, then you go back. Like, that ain't no real adult man, woman shit. Like, you go from putting them through more than them being then you putting them through more, you being in there, them you really not having nothing being out here. I'm telling you, I know. Personally, I know. I know for me, my father being locked up for about 9-10 years at the time where I guess I probably would have needed him the most, from like 10 years old till I was like 20, to where the next time I seen him was literally we was in facilities together. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been through that with my father. To me, leaving, I know that. So I'm saying, I know that feeling as a child, father not there, and you know him wanting to be there, not financially, because we was good. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing to do with the financial situation. It just, you know, nigga want his father naturally. You know what I'm saying? I know that feeling as a child, and I also know the feeling as a man doing the same thing, not doing what my father did to me, because my father ain't did nothing to me. They took him, but I know that feeling with my daughter, being away from my daughter, but knowing my daughter need me financially and emotionally. You know what I'm saying? So I know that feeling. So I figure, and I know in my path of life and living these years I live, it's better to just be here and not saying you're not gonna be able to do, but just because you can't do what you want to do don't mean you're not providing. Ain't nothing wrong with you going and just having your child. Okay, they might want the new sneakers. We ain't doing that right now. What we can do, I can tell you to go get you a new pair. What you want, some New Balance? I can get you something new, but it ain't gonna be no $200 pair of sneakers. And we gonna eat, and I'm here to teach you why this stuff not important. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you why it's not important. And I'm gonna show you why when you make your own money, you ain't gonna want to spend your money on it. You gonna want to live the finer things in life. And honestly, and I love fashion. I love it. But clothes are not the finer things in life. That's just something we was taught. That like having clothes are definitely don't consist of having the finer things in life. Doing things, experiencing things. Clothes are not experience. That's just something that makes you feel good. And trust me, this is coming from a man. I love fashion, but it's not the finer thing in life. That's just something we tell ourselves or we was told or something. Finer things in life is seeing your people grow and live a good life, taking trips, being able to take the family and go out for a couple weeks in the summer, Let them see a different culture of people. Let them be around different people. Let them see water. Let them experience what it feels like to be on a cruise ship leaving from America going to the Bahamas and see how the American water's so dark. And then when you, in a split second, like the line on this paper right here, like the line on this paper, the water go from dark to light. Like the line on that paper, they go from dark over here and this line would be light. Let them experience that. That's experiencing life. Not taking them to the mall and spending money. That make you feel good because it make me feel good. But that's not experiencing life. Some of the dumbest people in the world that I haven't met in my life are some of the flyest people in the world. I swear to God. I'm talking about you. They could throw it on with their eyes closed, but they don't know nothing. Know nothing. Never been nowhere. They live their life over other people on Instagram, but they never touch down nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. Then you will go look at the people who walk around, you know what I mean, dicky pants and khaki pants and work clothes all day, but they could go somewhere. The mailman, right, that deliver the mail to my house, right? This motherfucker go on vacation. It seems like every time the weather change. I swear to God, he always doing something. You know what I'm saying? People out here living, it ain't about, you know what I'm saying, you gotta, and that's something my mother instilled in me. She tried to, but I guess that's just who one thing about me that made me an individual. Because my sister's not really into all that. I'm into the fashion. That's just my thing. I guess that's just my individual thing. But having patience with yourself so you can sit there and teach these kids these lessons and not feel like you being a good parent. The only way being a good parent is you buy them things. That would consist of a good parent because of all the other non-knowledgeable parents doing that. Nah, you got to have patience with yourself to know. Swallow your pride for one, because I'm like it with my child. You got to swallow your pride and tell your kids no and give them an understanding why we ain't doing that. We ain't buying that because I'm saving up so when you get out of school this summer, we going to Florida, we going to California, we going to the Bahamas. That's what it is. So let your kids be cultured. That's one thing my mother blessed me and my sisters with, and my whole family. We all took trips regularly, understood other people, understood different languages, been around different people. You know what I'm saying? Been places. That's something. That's what count. That's living a finer life. So we gotta have patience with ourselves to experience things. We want to run around. We want to be quick to do what we already been doing. Take time, fall back, see what other people doing, see what other people who really went and doing, and mimic it straight like that. Do what the successful do, not the criminals. Do what the successful people doing. Mimic what the people who winning in life doing. Take a page or two out their book and see how it work with you. Honestly, that's just keeping it straight down the pipe. Don't mimic what the lessers doing. Do step out the box. See what people who around you doing and they not doing, and go above them. Go. We got social media now. See what the real wealthy people doing. See the habits they got. See what they spend their money on. See what they don't spend their money on. See what they invest their money on. See how they get their credit together. That's another thing. Like I said, I always speak for myself and my community. That's another thing I'm definitely trying to pump into our brains. Like the credit game is like you got the credit. Cash is gonna keep you in the basement. It's gonna keep you low. Cash is really not the way. It's a tool. It's really a tool, and we think it's the end all be all. That credit got to be patient. That's the main thing with the credit game, patience, because it's not instant gratification. It's years in the making. But that's the way. That's the way of now and the way of the future. And honestly, it's the way of the past. It just was never taught to us. It was never taught to us. But credit is the nut. That's what I'm getting to with my whole thing is financial literacy. But in order to build credit and have a true understanding and be able to apply financial literacy, you have to be patient. You have to be patient. You have to be patient because it's not going to happen for you. The minute you get a high credit score or you get this, it's not for you to run and go get the credit card. Or even when you go get the high limit credit card, it's not for you to max it out. It's for you to be strategic and so you could do things comfortably. Like go ahead and take that trip. You know what I'm saying? Take the kids out for a trip, or if you ain't got no kids, take yourself out for a nice trip and take a month off if you want. Take 2-3 weeks off. Honestly, that's what I'm just saying personal experience. These are things that my mother did for us when we was kids. Go to Florida for a whole month. Be gone so long, want to go home. Like, Mom, come on, man, vacation over. I want to go home. Facts, like, seriously. So these are all things, and I don't even know my mother done that with credit, but I'm telling you, these are things you could do with credit. know what I'm saying? These are all things you could do with credit comfortably. All you need is a decent paying job or a job and be responsible with your money. Remember, it ain't about how much you make. It's what you do with it. It's what you do with your earnings. If you ain't going out trying to get fashion, you ain't no junkie, you ain't no party animal, nothing like that. You let your money go direct deposit to your credit union. Always use your credit union for your personal account. Let that money, let your credit union build a history with your credit union. Get that credit card and take them payments right out that account, and build that history and move on. Then once you get that mastered, you become responsible with that. Then you get to the real money, the business credit. But it's all patience. I'm saying all that to say you gotta have patience. I'm just, you know what I mean, rumbling now. But it's all patience. The key is patience. The key to the golden cities is patience, man, along with other things. But you got to have patience, because sometimes you'll see things and you'll think it's for right now, but it's just a glimpse of the future. You got to know how to interpret things. Some things ain't meant for you right now. Just because it look good and it look like it's for you, you got to have an understanding, self-awareness to know, like, nah, it look good, but my time will come. It'll come. I'm going to take the steps. I ain't just going to jump the gun. Like, we all, like, you know, the majority of us want a house. But then you got to understand, why do you really want a house? Or can you handle it? Or if you do need the house and you can't handle it, it's about taking the steps to get there. You can't wake up today or this year and think by next year it's possible that you can have a house, but be realistic with yourself. Set the plan. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the people around you that you incorporate or you dealing with. And always be consistent in your movements. That's the thing. Consistency breeds success. Always be moving forward. Always be consistent in your movement, even if it's a little itty bitty step. Move forward in what you're doing, and it accumulates to something when it comes time to add up the points. So, patience. Stay patient. Stay sucker free. Keep it moving. Be self-aware, and always be nice. Till next time.